So here we are at our last lesson for learning how to play chords. Right now you should already be able to know the E minor, A major, oh let me change, oh that's something gross, E minor, A major, D major, and C major. So you should be able to switch between them pretty well now. Today we're moving on to G major. So while C major stretched your fingers kind of vertically down the fretboard, G major is going to stretch it horizontally across your strings. So picking up the shape is going to be a little difficult. It's not exactly too easy to remember, but you'll get it. So take out your 1, 2, and 3, and 1 is going to find the second, the one on A string. So A is E, A, and then second fret, 1, 2, and then your second finger is going to go on the low E string on the third fret, and then your third finger is going to go on the high E string on the third fret. So, if you notice at all, this part here is kind of like the ending of C major, just moved over, because C major was that, but now we're going to take these two, move them over, and we're going to bring this guy all the way down, but since we can't really bring that finger back here all the way down, we got to shift fingers around to help out our hand. With this shape, I'd remember the low E and high E and where they are, because those are two of the simpler ones to get down. It's just right across, and they're both on the same fret. But so then you got to just have your first marker to know where to put down. If you just remember G, let's just second string, second fret, and then these two are same fret and on the two outer strings. Before you try out this chord, make sure you're not holding it sloppy, because when I held it, I'd always, you gotta really bring your hand out, although it hurts sometimes, especially when you're starting. And you're gonna wanna strum down each one to make sure that you're not hitting anything. But once you have it down, you're going to strum from low E, and the root is G, and there is a G string on E, A, D, G. This one's a G string, it's open right now, but low E, so I believe it's E, F, F sharp, G. So it is on G, the one that you're playing. So you are playing from G to G, really, where your fingers are located. So try strumming around with it. And by now, you know, I shouldn't have to tell you, try taking your hand off and putting it back on. Helps out for the memorization. But since you should already know how to do some progressions from C major to E minor, A major, and D major, you're going to try adding G major in there. But if you first try out your random progressions for the 4 chords you know right now, and then after a while add G major in. So I'm just going to try out something. Add a G major there at the end. But I will tell you how to get from C major to G major. That's one of the easier ways. And after a while, realize that you're not just going to always, every time you have a G major chord, you're not going to always go, oh, I probably play C before it, because usually you're not. So eventually you want to switch from G to many different chords. This works for now, but by lesson 10 though, make sure you've got the switching between each chords known differently, because it's not, most songs are not going to be C, G, you like might have D, G, E minor, G, A, G, F, G. So starting on your C position, we are going to go from C. Never mind. It looks like I have starting from D position. D position would be easier. So scratch C. We're going to start from D and get to G. So your D position, if you remember what that is, I'm not reteaching it. So your one finger, which is right here on your A, E, D, G, and your G string, second fret. So 1 just moves over 2 strings. 1, 2, and you're going to leave it there. 2 goes all the way from back here on the low E string, second fret, all the way up another fret to the low E string. And then your third finger just moves back 1 to the high E string. How you play G, and that's how you get from. So one more time, start on D, take your 1, move it over 1, 2 strings, take your second finger on the high E, move it over to low E, third fret, right there, and take your third finger and move it back 1 string on the high E. So you have learned your final chord. And now on our next video, we're going to be learning how chords are made and stuff. But by our 10th one, you should be able to play some nice progressions, make progressions yourself. So when I teach you songs, different strumming and stuff, and switching from many different ways. So that's all for now.